Hello, people, and welcome to another edition of Wrestling Therapy. I am Wasuji, and I have a new guest today. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, my name is Brianna. I I'm on TikTok at baby thought underscore baby. Baby underscore you thought, and I just like wrestling. I also play The Sims. I'm into anime. And that's what I mainly talk about on my channel, like just different things. And I'm a up and coming like content creator as well.
Oh, who are some of your favorite wrestlers?
Okay, so some of my favorite wrestlers are Jeff Hardy. I love Bianca Belair. I think she's like my favorite. Um, I love good heels, so like Edge, Randy Orton. Um, you know, yeah. So I think I have like a diverse, um, you know, favorite wrestlers. Like I just like I mainly like wrestlers that have like the full package, so like the wrestling ability, the character work, the mic skills. So, I'm very diverse in that. But I do love a good heel though.
What got you into wrestling?
Um, I started watching wrestling when I was really young, because I didn't have cable. So, it was kind of boring. So like, one Friday night I came across, SmackDown because that was the only thing that was I think I forgot what channel it was on, but it was on
Was it
basic cable.
UPN?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, so it was just like, oh, it's something to watch. So I just started watching that every Friday until, I got cable. And then I started watching Raw as well. But I still love SmackDown. I think that's still the best show in my opinion. I don't know. But that's when I started watching wrestling. I did have like a cutoff point. I think it was somewhere after like Jeff Hardy lost to CM Punk and he left WWE. Um, so I think I had stopped watching it from there, but I had started watching it again when The Shield debuted around that time, a little bit after. So since then I've been, watching wrestling consistently.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people had that cutoff point where they kind of take a break from wrestling for a little bit and kind of fall back into it at some point.
Yeah.
Um, so let me ask you, what do you think about the landscape of wrestling as it is right now?
Um, I think the landscape of wrestling, it has its good points. Like I can see its potential, but I feel like overall, it's not really in a good like it's not really it's not really entertaining. You know, if I'm being like honest, um, I just feel like one of the issues with WWE I have is that like they don't really do storylines. Like they'll get people invested in a storyline, or and either it'll be cut off too quickly or they'll fall off with it, and it's just like I don't know. It's just kind of weird because it's just like, why do you have start these storylines? Like, for instance, for like the New Day, you have them turn heel, and then you're not really doing anything with them. So it's just like, why did you have this whole segment? You brought Biggie into it, and nothing really. We never really seen anything come from it. So I sometimes I just be confused about the decisions that the higher ups make, but yeah, but I feel like the wrestlers, they're really good, um, and that's another issue too. Like they don't really capitalize off of like certain wrestlers. Um, so yeah, like yeah,
I know,
it's
I understand. I get
yeah,
that. I know, I totally get that. I think, especially with WWE, it's a lot of stop and go. So it's
yeah,
like, oh, we're going to build this guy up, and then you're not going to see him for a month, and
yeah,
then they want you to care about that person. when they come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, so it's just like, or they'll have them on like a random SmackDown or Raw, and it's just like, oh, where is it, have that person been? Like, have they been injured? Like, so it's just like, okay, so what are we doing here? What are we doing with the talent that we do have? And I think also too, like, they they bank so much on potential stars. So like Roman Reigns when he was coming up, Rhea Ripley, like they put so much effort into people that have the look, instead of like, oh, this person, this person is a pretty solid, underrated person. How about we just push them too, like, and make more of like the mid card title scene and like the main event scene as well.
That's a fair assessment. Did you watch Women's Evolution?
Yes, I did.
All right, well let's talk about it. Is there any match in particular you would like to start to talk about first, or
I would like to start off with the tag team match. I think that was the best match of the night, in my opinion, because I feel like it was so much good storytelling. That's what I like character and storytelling. Like, okay, everybody wrestles, everybody can speak, but like, what is it that you can pull me in and make me be like, okay, like I really want to see this to the end. And I feel like Alexa and Charlotte really did that when she saved her. And they were sitting in the corner and they were just shocked and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, they can really build off of this. And then also like with Raquel and Roxanne, I think that ever since Raquel coming up to the main roster, she always been pushed back. But I feel like now we're really seeing what she's made of, especially with Liv out the picture. Which I really do think it's a shame that Liv wasn't at this Revolution. I think that she would have definitely been a draw. But I think Raquel should really take on that mantle of being like a top star. Like she has the power, she has the look. You know, if she can, clean up her character, I definitely think that she can be more, well received.
was you okay with the winners of that match?
Yes, I was, but it just kind of makes me feel iffy. Like the whole evolution, it was like kind of like bittersweet because it's just like, okay, we have all this great women's wrestling, but the bookend prior, and then it's just like, what are we going to do after? Especially since like earlier this year, they they wiped out like a lot of the women's tag team division, by releasing, um, Jakara Jackson and it was
Gigi,
another tag. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So it's just kind of like I really do like the winners, but I don't just want them to be like sitting champions, with the Judgment Day. I definitely wanted them to, you know, have, just build the tag team division because it has its ebbs and flows as well.
I think my biggest problem with the women's division is the lack of tag teams, like you were just saying. Because I mean, if you break it down, you have Secret Herbis, okay.
Yeah,
You have Michin and BFAB, okay. You have Charlotte and Alexa, cool. Kabuki Warriors, cool. Judgment Day, cool. That's that's really not enough, especially when you look at Kabuki Warriors. They could be they're two single stars at this point. Same thing with
yeah,
Charlotte and Alexa, two single stars. I really wish they would focus more on the women's tag team and actually like, hey, we're gonna have matches like they did on Raw. Have matches with these tag teams and make you care instead of like,
yeah.
oh, it's just a random match. But I think you're the first one I've heard say that that match was your favorite. What else about that match stood out to you?
Um, I just I don't know, I like the chaos of like different people going in the ring because you can see how you can see like different like moves. I always think that like Oscar, she anything with Oscar in it, she just moves so. It's just you can't take your eyes off of Oscar. I think
Love
she's one of
Oscar.
the persons. Yeah, like she's one of the persons that I think because some people, you can sit and hear them talk, but you can't really sit and watch them wrestle. You know what I'm saying? So, but like, so I could really like when my eyes be going on her, and then she knows how to make other people look good as well. So Asuka is always a good person to watch. Also like Soul Ruka as well, cause I don't really watch NXT like that, but she's she's just awesome. And the way like Charlotte, I just think that like my favorite part of it was like how it just seemed like everybody was on one accord, but everybody had their own personality. Because with like Soul Ruka, like and Charlotte selling her move, like and also like Charlotte like getting all this love, like I was just so happy for her because I don't know. I like Charlotte. Like, I think that, like, she has a character, and I feel like a lot of times people can't separate the character from the person. And for her to just to see Charlotte just, having fun, and, you could tell she wasn't, at ease, I mean, you could tell she was at ease, so I just think that it was so unexpected that everything came together because I just knew that match was going to be chaotic. I just knew, it wasn't it wasn't
Yeah.
going to match well, but it did, and that match really surprised me. Yeah.
Okay. Um, let's talk about the Jade versus Miss Queen of the Ring versus Miss Money in the Bank with
Yeah.
Bianca as a special guest referee. What are your thoughts on this match?
I think that the match. I like this match. It was definitely better than their WrestleMania match because it added more pizzazz to it. I think that the no holds bar match was perfect because Naomi is this dangerous character. She's definitely going to need a weapon against Jade. Like it made sense. So, I think the match was good. I, I'm one of the people think that like Jade, she still needs a bit more improvement, but I could see her improving. But I think, I like the camera spot with the spot with the camera. Um, and I'm sorry, it was so long ago, so I'm trying to
It's okay.
recollect like
It's all good.
the parts of
It's
the
all good.
match. But I just think it was good, and I wish like Bianca could have did a bit more though, because we've seen Jade and Naomi like back and forth for a while. With and Bianca, she come in, she'll say, that she's done with Naomi, but I felt like I wanted more interaction with like between her and Jade, like where do they stand? Cause I don't know, like I do feel like Bianca did a great job calling it down the middle because people were gonna have some problems with it if she didn't. But if I kind of I wanted Bianca to show more because she has to pick a side, like so it's just like I don't know, but
I
I
think.
do.
Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
I
No,
think with
no,
Bianca, I think she was still hurt. She's still hurt with that hand, so I'm not sure if she was actually cleared to like be physical, which I think what limited anything they was might have would have done. But I wanted to touch back on Jade because my previous guest, me and her was talking about speaking with Shaw, we was talking about Jade. And what are, you said you're one of the people who think she needs work. What do you think she needs to work on, in your opinion?
I think that she needs to work on making her moves like land,
Okay.
and I think that I because you can tell like when it comes to like the power moves and all that stuff, like she's amazing at it. But I just feel like sometimes like her, like she kind of looks kind of clumsy and she kind of looks kind of awkward. That's why I thought like when she went, like when she got signed, I was hoping that she went down to NXT because I feel like it's been multiple times like you see her like, and I'm not like holding it against her, or like bashing her, but it's just like I do feel like she has potential and she has gotten way better. But I just feel like she could have started at a place where, she could, train and like give NXT that star power and then work her way up. So now, like, if she do make a mistake, it's just like, okay, she dominated in NXT, so she has something else to carry with her when she went to the main roster. Because, um, I'm sorry, I'm losing my
Oh,
train
you're
of
all
thought.
good. You were talking about Jade working on in NXT.
Yeah, like working. She should have went down there first, but um, but I do think that she definitely has the potential to be better. I just think that she kind of looks awkward when she wrestles.
She needs more matches.
Yeah, and
I,
because like some people, like I said with Oscar, like she has like a flow to it. She's like I like wrestlers that make me think that I can do it. So it's
that
just
makes
like,
sense.
okay, oh that was smooth, ooh that was clean. And yeah, like sometimes she don't really be looking as smooth as clean.
I
You
get
know.
okay. No, see, at least you gave a logical explanation because there's a lot of other people who just hate Jade. Anything she does, anything that
Yeah,
she, everything like they hate everything about her. And some people, it's only one reason why they hate Jade.
yeah.
But I like the explanation. I don't disagree with it. Um, Speaking of NXT, we had the NXT Women's Title match. JC Jane versus Jordan Grace, with Jordan Grace taking the loss here. What are your thoughts on this match?
Um, I think it was a good match as well, but I think that I don't know. I'm getting tired of like the ganging up and the one strong person has to fight this person and that person, and then the person gets blindsided. Like I'm kind of tired of that whole storyline because it seems like Jordan Grace has been getting screwed over. It looks like because she's still not the NXT champion. So, but I do think that um
JC?
yes, that's I'm sorry. I do think that JC, she's a really good wrestler. Well, not like a really good wrestler, but she has potential. But I just I knew it. I kind of knew it was going to be a betrayal, but I was just upset that like Jordan Grace lost. Like I was just saying that.
I, I get that. I was when I was looking at this match initially, I was like, Jordan Grace is probably gonna win. But then when I was watching NXT, Great American Bash, and JC took the pin, I was like, oh, okay, well, they're not gonna have her lose twice in a weekend. And plus, the winner of that match will face the TNA Women's Knockout Champion, which is Masha Slamovich, at Slammiversary. So I was like, I could see JC losing this match, and TNA will have the NXT top women's title. Um, let's see. Okay, we had Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus for the women's championship match. My least favorite match. I don't know about you.
I
What do you think of this match?
I think so too. Um, I don't know. I just think that both of them shouldn't have been. Like that should have been like a separate match without the title. Like I don't think I don't know. I'm iffy about Tiffy. Oh, that was a boss. But I do think that she. I just I feel like two things. I'm really kind of tired of Tiffy time, and I just feel like it was other you know legends that they could have backed other than Trish Stratus. Like I think, yeah, I understand it was her 25th anniversary, but that could have been, a completely different match outside of the title. I don't, I didn't really pay attention to it to be honest, because they look the same. It's like one in the, this is the past and the future. Like I think we had like with Trish and Charlotte, like we just like the whole thing with the JC Jane and it's just like it's WWE kind of recycles like motifs and stuff. So I didn't really pay attention to it. But Trish, she looked amazing and she could still go in the ring, but
It
it
wasn't a
didn't.
needed match.
I'm just ready for Tiffy to not have the belt. I feel like
Yeah,
it just,
I,
and I'm
yeah,
not hating on. Like, I'm not hating on her. I think she does well, you know, but
I'm over it.
yeah.
I'm over it. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's it's ran its course
Same
for
thing
me.
with, I'm sorry, like she does really well in the ring. Like she's another person you can't take your eyes off when she's in the ring, but she doesn't. I would have rather Bailey to win, and I don't know. I was kind of sleeping on Bailey, but I'm starting to like her, which is crazy. But I'm really starting to like Bailey, because I feel like she kind of stood out in the match. I feel like we're really seeing. I think we're seeing like the veterans like really switch it up and like, cause we seeing Charlotte being lighthearted and fun, while I see Bailey like, she really wants that title, and I feel like we're seeing like a different side of Bailey, like within that drive. So hopefully, like we could get a Becky versus Bailey match, but I'm tired of Lyra too. I'm sorry,
You don't like
like,
Lyra, really?
it's not like I don't like her, but I feel like she like comparing it to like the U.S. Championship, like she's still in the Intercontinental title picture, still. And I just feel like there's other people that, like I said, like Triple H or TKO or whoever, like they invest so much into like certain people, but they're not saying like, oh, we have Ivy now, even like Kyrie or um
Maxine.
Roxanne or yeah, Maxine, Natalia. There's other people that can be in the title picture. Like, so,
I think after this match with Becky and Lyra at SummerSlam, I think both of them should be out the picture, and Becky should move on to somebody else at that point.
yeah,
Who? I mean, I don't know, but maybe a draft and maybe get somebody like a Lash Legend in that division,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
Speaking of Lash Legend, we had the Women's Battle Royal, number one contender to get a championship match at Clash of Paris. The last two was Lash Legend and Stephanie Vaquer, and Stephanie, with the Devil's Kiss on the outside, picks up the win. What were your thoughts on the winner of this match?
I think it was very predictable, but I'm not mad at it. I think Stephanie is definitely that person that can really shoot up to the top of the division. I don't think we have seen anybody like her in a long time. Just like, with her look, her aura, her ability to wrestle, like she's definitely the full package. The only thing is that I, I kind of feel for her. Like I don't want her to go too up to the top because sometimes like WWE, like afterwards, they don't know what to do with certain individuals after they hit a certain point, especially women. So, but I'm not mad at Stephanie Vicarious for winning. I'm not mad at like at the final two as well because I feel like last last legend is finally getting her due because she's very strong. Like this wasn't this. She's so amazing because this was like the first battle royale, or probably like the second, that like she was the only person, or like she had help with Stephanie, but it didn't take like multiple people for Nia Jax to be eliminated.
True.
Because Nia Jax is always that factor in the battle royale. Like, everybody has to team up against her and dump her out and all that stuff. She's like the force in that. But the fact that like Last Legend just picked her up and just dumped her over, and like it's really impressive, and I feel like now people have Last Legend on their minds, which is really good for her, especially like losing her tag team partner. You know, um,
Which I thought was a mistake.
yeah, which was a mistake, but at the very least they're pushing her. So yeah, I feel like it should have been, but I do feel like it should have been more legends in the match. Cause they was outside, they was at the ringside. Like, why couldn't they get in the ring?
See,
You know?
I, I kind of disagree with that notion because years ago you needed to have the legends in there to fill out a
Mm,
roster because I mean there really wasn't a whole lot. Like now there's so many women, talented women back there that the legends aren't needed to be in that match. That's my opinion. I think that not having them in there, I guess besides Nikki, but having one is fine. I didn't need to see like a. I love Victoria. Don't get me wrong. I love Victoria, but I didn't need to see her in it because she wasn't gonna win. But
yeah,
I like that they was outside the ring and they kind of showed them and gave them their flowers in a
yeah.
way. Let's see. We have. I feel like I'm missing a match besides the main event.
Did we miss a match?
Talked about Incontinental. Talked about the tag, the NXT, the No Holds Barred match. No, I didn't. Okay, and the last match was the main event. We had Rhea Ripley against then Women's World Champion Io, which I thought was probably one of my favorite matches of the weekend,
Yeah,
with
of course.
Naomi cashing in and becoming Women's World Champion. What did you think of this?
I feel like Io Sky is another person that if she's in a match, she's gonna wrestle her ass off. So I wasn't really surprised about how good the match was. I kind of knew they was gonna tear the house down, especially after WrestleMania. So that's why it wasn't my favorite match, but it was definitely number two. But yeah, like it was just so crazy. Like I didn't think they was gonna go into the audience. Um, it was they really gave their all towards it, and I'm just really proud of them. Yeah, like
I agree.
yeah,
I enjoyed that match. It was Naomi cashing in was the cherry on top, and it wasn't a failed cash in. And the
yes,
women's Money in the Bank is still a 100% cash in rate, which is great.
yes,
Because I was a little nervous they was gonna make her be the first one to lose it. I was a little
yes. I
nervous.
was, and I think that that would really like set everything on off, and hopefully this is like a start to like the new like women's era because I feel like women can have like good storylines too. Like women can shock the world as well because well, few people said that they knew that she was going to cash in on Io and Rhea, but I don't
Yeah,
really believe that because it
bull.
was
I
it
call
was
bull.
just it was so unbelievable because that wasn't even her brand. She wasn't even on Raw. So I think that um and it was just long overdue for Naomi, like way overdue. She she definitely deserves to have a title, and I'm looking forward to it. I really do hope that it's like a good reign because me, I don't really care if it's like a long or short reign. I just care about like how your character presents itself within that reign. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So I
that's a rare thing you just said.
yeah, like I like because yeah, you can have like a reign for a month, but you know, if you putting on good matches, you talking your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I will remember that over somebody that had like a long reign and no title defenses. They off and on. You know, you don't really see them. They don't really wrestle. Um, so I really think that, and then you know she's retiring soon, so I feel like this is like a good way for her to like be on the you know on the on a decline, not like a decline like that, but
You know
as
what you're
she's
saying.
one now, like at the end of her career that she can go out with a bang and she can say that like I was a champion like you know yeah so
She's done a lot, and she's done a lot in the wrestling business. Like she's been around for a while. I have a friend of mine. As soon as she won, he messaged me and he was just like ecstatic, and I was like, you know what? I like seeing the people that kind of I don't want to say overlooked, but kind of like get their shine and to get celebrated.
yeah.
Like I love Rhea Ripley, but I'm just a little like little bit tired of seeing her in the title picture.
Me too, and that's why I was just like, if Rhea wasn't going to win, like I wouldn't mind Io retaining, but this was a good way to still make them look strong, but give Naomi like the title, but and give somebody else a title because it's been 8 years since she won her last one, so well overdue, way overdue. And I'm just ready to see her lead and take charge. As long as she leaves Bianca alone, she can terrorize those girls all she wants to. Like,
Leave Bianca alone. That's
yes.
fair. And that was women's evolution. Is there anything else you would like to discuss?
Um, no, not really. Like, I really
No.
had a good time discussing evolution. Um, I would like to say that, you know, to all the people, women's wrestling is really great. Like, I feel like a lot of times people think that it's inferior to the men. And I'm not really shocked that like evolution, like the women were able to carry like a PLE and basically make it one of the best PLEs in a year because, there's so many great women like Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, um, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Natalia. Um, even from the new ones, Stephanie Vautier, Roxanne Perez, um, you know, like the women have been solid for a while now, and I'm glad that everybody is finally opening their eyes to what I've been seeing since the pandemic.
Did you
So,
watch the Mercedes versus Tony Storm match?
no, I haven't, but I've seen like clips. I do want to watch AEW, but I don't know where to watch it at. Like, I think it's
I
on like HBO
I think
or
I
I
think
think
it's on.
okay.
I don't watch AEW like that, to be 100% honest. I only watched this pay per view because I wanted to see that match, and I think it was the Omega Okada match. I am
Yeah,
not the biggest AEW fan, but I did want to watch Mercedes and Tony Storm, and it was a great match. I feel like it was good storytelling.
I don't
Good
know when
story.
it comes to like Mercedes, like it's just like how you used to know somebody and they just off on their way and you see them through like social media, like that's how it is, and they still doing well and being bigger than they were before. Um, Mercedes gets a lot of hate for all the titles, all the belts and all that stuff, but I really do think that she deserves all of that. Like I'm one, maybe call me delusional, but I feel like Sasha, I mean, not Sasha, Mercedes. I want to respect her, but
I did it yesterday.
Mercedes, yeah, Mercedes, you can't deny like she carried like the women's division for quite a bit, like from when she got on to the main roster. Like everybody, you knew Mercedes, you knew Sasha, like so. I definitely think that she's happy, she's making the money that she thinks she deserves, and I can't be mad at that. I can't be
Yeah.
mad.
Oh, hey, I respect the hustle. I respect the hustle. But that, I believe, will be all. Thank you so much for being on with me
Thank
today.
you for
If
the
you ever want to
opportunity.
be back on again, you are more than welcome to be on. We could talk whatever you want.
Right.
Um, I I am Ozuji, and please reintroduce yourself and plug your socials.
Hi again. I'm Bree, and you can follow me on TikTok at baby and yeah, so I hope to see you. Like I said, like I like to talk about any and everything, wrestling, Sims, anime, pop culture, reality TV, anything. I just want to build a community where everybody can have a space to talk about wherever their heart desires. So yeah, check me out.
That's kind of what I want to do, and I will be remiss if I don't ask this question before we go. What is your favorite anime and your favorite anime character?
My favorite anime, One Piece. It's not long. You're impatient. And my favorite character, Zoro. Um, that's my guy. Three sword style. Sometimes he get lost, he get drunk, but he gonna beat them every time. So yeah.
Okay, like I said, I had to ask because I know probably people would come from my head if I didn't ask the question.
Oh,
But
what's your favorite anime?
mine, I'm a Dragon Ball fan personally. Love
Gotcha.
Dragon Ball, and my favorite's got to be, and it's not Goku. It's Vegeta.
Okay, I
Vegeta.
see you.
And my favorite villain is Cell.
So
Love
okay,
Cell.
my favorite villain, I would have to say, is either between Don Flamingo. And I know I'm gonna get judged by this, but Big Mom. I kind of like Big Mom, but yeah,
Ain't nothing wrong with that. We all love different things. That what makes us all unique.
yeah. So,
Okay,
but it
well,
was really nice talking to you.
it was great talking to you too. And like I said, if you ever want to come back on, we'd love to have you back on. We could talk women's wrestling because I believe we need more content about women's wrestling.
Yes, me too. So, yes, I'm down to talk about women's wrestling.
Okay, maybe we could set up something for next week or something like that, and we can go from there.
Alrighty.
All right, everybody, stay safe, stay blessed, and enjoy the rest of y'all's days.